No, I did too.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you're live.
All right, folks, this is our virtual city council meeting, October 26th at 7:20 p.m. Madam Clerk, you do us the honor of a roll call, please.
Councilmember Jimmy Clanton.
Yes, there he is.
For whatever reason, I'm here, but
Okay.
it's wrong with my computer.
Okay. Councilmember Rob Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Jasmine Cobble. Councilmember George Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Tammy Grimes. Here. Mayor Jason Larry.
Here,
We have a quorum.
thank you. We got a couple of things we're gonna, housekeeping we're gonna take care of first. Well, we have on the new business codification of COVID-19 program name. I'm gonna move that to presentation. The Stonecrest feasibility study is not gonna be today, so we'll do the codification of COVID-19 program name. Chris, I need you to help me with this other one. The SLUP, we promised the people that the SLUP 20004, we moved them up since they had been here.
Sir, that is the the previous case for the convenience store for the fuel pumps and the accessory restaurant with the drive-through.
All right, so will they be hearings?
Yeah, no public hearing. It's just a decision needs to be made by.
Okay. And that is SLUP SLUP 20004.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, we will take that before the
Mayor, I actually think it's listed as 003 on the agenda. I'm not sure which one was.
let's say special use permit SLUP 20-003 application, something like convenience store. So I got two different numbers. Which one is the correct number, please? And my fault, Chris, because I got that note from outside of your office, so I apologize.
All right. I'll log back into the server real quick.
I have SLUP 20-003 as well.
Okay. But I'm going to confirm it by Mr. Wheeler.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different one. Apologize. It's 3.
Okay. That old business I'm going to move after
No. So, Mayor, I apologize. I'm sorry. I got too many SLUP files open. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's actually it's 4. It should be 4. I probably missed wrote it.
Okay. I will make that 4. 20-004 for 7101 Highway convenience store.
Yeah, it should be
and restaurant. All right.
I
I'll make that right after the presentation of the COVID-19. We've done the roll call. And, Councilman Rob Turner, if you give us the pleasure, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us pray. Giving all glory and honor to the only true and living God, Jesus Christ, our Savior. We come to you tonight humbling ourselves and seeking your guidance, power, wisdom, and mercy. We can't effectively govern and legislate as mayor, council, and staff without you. We need you. Help us to work together for the good of the city and for the kingdom of God. We have been called to establish a city that will be a blessing to you and generations to come. Let your will be done with us and through us tonight as we represent you in all that we do. Thank you for the presence of your Holy Spirit and that our offering of our gifts, talents, and abilities will be pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. You've always come through for us every time.
My pleasure, sir.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands, one nation, under God,
God.
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, council. We're going to go through for the approval of the minutes. We'll start with the approval of September 28th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes. Council, what's your pleasure? Any update, changes? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the September 28th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes.
All right, properly moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble. District 3, Jasmine Cobble.
You not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, aye.
District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. B, approval of the October 12th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes. All right. Council, what's your pleasure? I'll give you a minute. All right, seeing none, I'll take a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move for approval of the move for approval of October 12th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes.
All right, properly moved. There's second.
Second.
All right, properly moved and second. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble.
Aye.
District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Item C for minutes, approval of the October 14th, 2020 special call meeting minutes. I'll give a moment for council to peruse that. Any changes or additions? Seeing none, I'll take a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the October 14, 2020 special call meeting minutes.
Second.
All right, properly moved in second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble.
Aye.
District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. All right, going to the COVID-19 codification of the COVID-19 program name. Council, as you have seen earlier today in our presentation, the type of work, the type of labor, the type of care and love that's been put into this particular program that services the needs of our Stonecrest citizens and small businesses, very well thought out, very well balanced between our taking care of the citizens and taking care of the small business owners, and designed very well by this committee. And I was moved by a program that I attended with Councilman Rob Turner and Councilman Jimmy Clanton and other friends and family members that could attend. We lost a very good Stonecrest citizen, a very hard worker, and a very good person that was of influence in our small business and regular community. His name was Aaron Matthew Allen, and I make no bones about it, being the son of Mr. Bill Allen. And what I thought and what I have noticed in this young man that I knew for some years now, and in his untimely passing, is that if we could name this program in honor of that young man. I asked permission from his parents that I could present it to council. They were elated about it. And the name of the COVID program would be the Aaron Matthew Allen, that's his full name, COVID-19 Small Business Relief Program. And what that does, council, is that we have an opportunity to honor our own in COVID-19, in personal and in small business, that this was set out for. And Aaron was the epitome of that type of individual. So I would like, and what I'm requesting for council is to codify the name of the program, and let's vote and say yes, because I want permission from you all to name the program as I mentioned. I'll do the motion, and the motion is to name our program the Aaron Matthew Allen COVID-19 Small Business Relief Program. Could I have a second?
Second.
All right, properly moved in second. Discussion from council.
Mr. Mayor, just a point of order. Is this where we would add a motion for action during presentation?
Yes, sir. I can do it there. Doesn't really matter if it's a presentation or old business or new business, Councilman Turner. It's on the agenda, and I can move for, we can move for action in that place. It's not a problem. Any more discussion?
Just a statement, Mayor, not necessarily a discussion. It's just these kinds of things that I wish we could have conversation about, so that we could have questions and ask questions that may be a little sensitive here. But I just want to be on record saying that please, when we do these kinds of things, if you would give some consideration to having that conversation before we get to this point.
Thank you, ma'am. I
You're
will do
welcome.
so in the future. I appreciate it.
All right.
Any further comments? All right. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble. District 3, Jasmine Cobble. You're muted, Ms. Cobble, and I don't see a video. District 4, George Turner.
Nay.
District 5, Tammy Grimes. District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Yes, yes.
All right. Mayor, yes. Madam Clerk, passes. 4-1.
I was gonna ask that. I'll put 4-1-1 with Jasmine Cobble absent from the vote. We've discussed that in previous meetings, and Councilmember George Turner as a nay. Do I have that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the official name of the program, proudly so, is Aaron Matthew Allen COVID-19 Small Business Relief Program. His parents would be proud, as you all are parents, and I think you would be proud also. Thank you. The next is the SLUP 20-004. And
Mayor, sorry.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You were correct the first time, sir. It was 3. I made a note. Mission. I had trying to do internal numbering, and it messed up. But you were correct the first time. It is 03. Sorry about that.
All right, no worries. I see Ms. Sellers there. Hello, Ms. Sellers. So this will be for the approval of special land use permit, SLUP-20003, for application on 7101 Covenant Highway, convenience store with accessory fuel pumps and restaurant with a drive-through. Ms. Sellers, did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir, that is correct. We
All
had
right.
2 separate requests. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Wheeler. That's right, with 2 separate requests. So with that, Mr. Wheeler, you can guide us in this area.
Yes, sir. So just to kind of give a recap of what Ms. Sellers' application is about. Ms. Seller represents a company who is looking to develop a convenience store for fuel pump in a restaurant with a drive-through. They're requesting 2 SLUPs. One is a convenience store with a fuel pump at a minimum at 4,000 square feet. And they're requesting a drive-through, a restaurant with a drive-through, which both require a SLUP. The issue that was one of the issues, one of the concerns, or actually one of the points, or I should say the confusion previously was stating that Ms. Sellers' applicant or the representative, they have the automatic right to build a gas station without a SLUP if they increase their convenience stores from 4,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet. Because it's stated in the City of Stonecrest zoning ordinance that if you meet 3 of the 4 criteria outlined in the Stonecrest zoning ordinance, you do not have to get a SLUP or you have to go in front of City Council for approval. The applicant does not want to build a 5,000 square foot convenience store with fuel pumps. They would like to do a 4,000 square foot fuel pumps with drive-through. So that's where we're here today to see if council wants to approve the convenience stores at 4,000 square feet with a drive-through, a restaurant with the drive-through. Do you have any questions of staff or do you have any questions of the applicant?
Mr.
All
Willie,
right,
you said that,
floor is open.
I'm
I
sorry.
apologize, man.
No, Mr. Willie, you said there was 2 SLUPs. Are both SLUPs on this?
Yes, sir. So for convenience, I've only given one number to make it to streamline it. But there are 2 SLUPs,
okay.
2 special land use permits that the applicant is requesting. Again, I made it smaller because instead of doing 2 staff reports, just did it into 1 staff report, giving 1 number to make it easier instead of having staff and council to go back and forth between applications and so forth.
So we voting once for both, correct?
I would say do 2 motions for both permits. So if you want to approve or deny one of them, you'll just state you want to deny or approve the gas station, the convenience store with the fuel pumps, or if you want to approve the restaurant with drive-through and so forth. And Anna Maria can kind of walk you through the process as well. Make sure legally you say it in the correct way.
That's,
All right.
that's fine. Just don't want any confusion going forward with the SLUP numbers. If you're going to have 003 and they're going to reference 2 different motions, seem like that could be
Yes.
problematic. I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
No worries. I am reading Councilman Rob Turner's mind as he sit. So I'm going to ask this question for him if he doesn't mind.
All right.
Ms. Sellers. So as Chris Wheeler is not a Southerner, so I have to play his tape back because he's a quick one. So is Councilman Turner. You get him going, but it's 1,000 miles a minute. So with that, we want to get this right, as we said. So Ms. Sellers, since we're handling 2 of these, one is for the approval of the convenience store / fuel pump. Okay. And the second one is for the approval of the restaurant.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the drive-through for the restaurant is the second SLUP, and the first one is for the convenience store at 4,000 square feet with the fuel pumps.
Okay. Councilman Turner, you want me to do this? Or,
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Thank you.
all right, I'll hand it to you, Councilman Turner.
I make a motion that we approve the special land use permit SLUP -20-003 application 7101 Covington Highway convenience store 4,000 square feet with accessory fuel pumps.
All right, properly moved, and I'm going to second it. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble.
Aye.
District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Approved. Councilman Turner.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the special land use permit SLUP -20-003 application 7101 Covington Highway for a restaurant and with a drive-through.
Ready? Properly moved, and I'll second. Further discussion? Seeing none. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
Aye.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Turner. Jasmine Cobble, I apologize.
Don't get me in
Got
trouble.
married.
Man.
I'm
Don't
already
get me-
married.
Don't do that. Don't start nothing.
We're both already married.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Aye. Cobble.
I'm trying to call the whole names in the district and all that stuff. And it's got twisted up. District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
5, Tammy Grimes.
Tammy Grimes, that's right. I.
All right. Mayor, aye. Very good.
I guess I am in between both Turners, huh?
Yes, right, you are.
Such a lucky woman. What can I say?
The pleasure is all mine.
Good deal. Good deal. All
Mayor
right.
and council members, thank you so very much. We really appreciate it and also appreciate you moving us up in the agenda. Thank you so much.
Good deal. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ms. Sellers. We look forward to it. Okay. All right. We'll go on to appointments for acting city manager. Folks, I have been listening to all of what we've said for months now. And I have moved around several things that I said I would do in conjunction with doing what is best for the city of Stonecrest. And that's I mean, that's the job, that's leadership. So since we're growing in leaps and bounds, we've done an exceptional job with the staff that we have, particularly the I just can't speak enough on our new staff members, and Miss Scruggs and Mr. Sims, just unbelievable work, along with the other folks that we have that's been helping guide us, through not only for me budget, but also operations and growth. I've said to you all every year, we will continue to grow. And as I see the questions, even from our budget public hearing, this was going to be a good time for folks to actually ask questions and find out, how do you go from a $6.2 million a year city when we first started out, then 9 million, then 10 million and change, now 13 million. And as I said, we're onward to being a $30 million a year budget city. And the reason we can count that far out is because of our economic development prowess. That's one. Two is that we'll be taking on the other services and delivering those services to our Stonecrest citizenry. And that was the whole point of, coming to be. So with that, in this growth mode, I've heard council loud and clear, and I want us to move forward and, of course, finding the city manager, permanent city manager, but at the same time making sure that we have the experience and the work ethic to fill the gap while we're doing so. Mr. Joyner has done an incredible job as the deputy city manager. He's been both, to tell you the truth, deputy city manager and the city manager, and everything else in between. But I'm gonna offer to compromise with council so that we can have an experienced city manager, acting city manager in place, and with that we can collectively, and that's what I'm offering, we can collectively look for a city manager that suits the needs of everyone. And the only caveat to that is that everyone gets to compete. Nobody's going to be, slighted in competing, nor should they. So with that, I'm going to make the motion to offer Miss Janet Jackson as our acting city manager. that is the person that I am putting up today, as my nominee for acting city manager. And with that, I'll take a second and I'll take discussion.
Second.
All right, I had a second. Ms. Jackson, if you would please, I've read your background, and I've known your work ethic from the people that I've called on you that you don't know I know, and they didn't know that you knew me. For the record, with everybody that's listening, this time I get the unique opportunity of watching a person for the past couple of months without making any hasty decision whatsoever, without not being knowledgeable of that person's background, and most importantly, as a consultant, how she fit in with our current employees, her knowledge base, and her experience. So, Ms. Jackson, I'd be honored if you give council and the general public some more information about you. There you go.
Am I unmuted now?
You are unmuted now.
Okay, it looks like I lost my camera.
Yep, and then mute.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, but you can't hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, very good. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, that my Zoom went out for a sec. But yes, I would have enjoyed working with your staff over the past couple of months. It's been interesting how when you start a new city, you don't know what you don't know. There are just so many different facets and things that have to be sort of standardized in order to pull that together administratively. So I've worked with your staff in trying to help do that in terms of budget process. Also in terms of soon want to start looking at procurement processes, ERP systems, and other sorts of systems that need to be in place for smooth functioning of the city. Likewise, would look forward to working with the mayor and council in terms of really setting some priorities and getting yourselves ready. You've done 3 years. Let's see what we need to do those the next 3 years. As you also look at expanding capital projects, as we discussed during the budget, looking at the various strategic plans you put in place, I would certainly welcome the opportunity to work with all of you to make sure that Stonecrest continues to be a shining star among the new cities in the state of Georgia.
Ms. Jackson, give the general public and council, and I know they've seen your resume, just some background on yourself.
Sure. I have been in local government pretty much for a career, local government or local government related consulting for a career. From born and raised in Augusta, graduated from the College of William and Mary and Duke University's Public Policy School. Worked in most notably City of Albany, Georgia as their assistant city manager and then later city manager. I was there for a total of 12 years. Worked in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, actually an employee of Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, as part of the executive leadership team. I oversaw the community health and safety services for Mecklenburg County during a period of tremendous growth. And then came to Augusta, worked for 4.5 years as their administrator in a consolidated city county government. So, and now, of course, doing local governments or consulting services with local governments and nonprofit organizations. At this point, where I want to make clear with council that you're available for full-time as an acting city manager. Yes, I am. Earlier, 2 months ago, when we talked, at that time, I was working with a nonprofit on a census project. Obviously, census is over now, so that does give me some additional time. So if it is the will of the mayor and council that I work additional hours for Stonecrest, I can make time to do that.
Got it. So reason I'm offering council for my appointment and for your confirmation is that Ms. Jackson has the unique opportunity and a unique experience of prior cities and growth. And she has experience with every facet of the city business that we're looking at doing, from police to public works to budget to everything. So with that, I just want to, have all cards on the table that she can, of course, be our acting city manager. And then if she so desires, Ms. Jackson, Mr. Joyner, and several others whoever decide, can compete for the permanent, city manager's position. So that is my appointment and for the acting city manager, so that we can get on track to find a, permanent city manager. And it's been properly moved in second. Council, the floor is open to you to ask Ms. Jackson, questions that you so desire.
I'd like to ask a question.
We'll start with Councilman Rob Turner.
Ms. Jackson, in reference to your interim city manager possible appointment, what kind of timeline are you looking at being in this position? Or do you have any idea?
I could actually start next week if it's approved today. I think I could start November 2nd. That would be next Monday. So really, it would take me about a week to get mobilized. Does that respond to your question?
Well, I think I was also asking in reference to, I guess, the longevity. I guess you don't have any idea the longevity of an appointment like that, or do you?
I mean, I have, to be completely transparent, yes, I have interviewed for a permanent position in another city. All indications from them is that they would expect the person to be available, the person they select to be available in January of 21. Of course, at this point, I don't know if I'm going to be that person or if they're selecting someone else. So if they do select me, that means I have a 2-month horizon. If they don't select me, I could stay with you for a longer time period, as long as it takes for you to get a permanent person in place.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I have two very, very strong emotions. One is one wanting to do cartwheels, because I've been very, very vocal about us getting someone in this seat as either acting city manager or permanent city manager. I really want to see that happen. But I was hoping that since this is a personnel matter, it would be discussed in executive session. But on the other hand, it's good that the public can see how this process is working. On the other hand, I just got word of this particular movement about 2 or 3 hours ago, and that is not very timely in terms of which way you are proposing we take this. So I'm going to offer an alternate motion before we move on. So I will leave it at that and hear from the others.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, this is Jasmine Cobb. I'm having some issues with my camera, but can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, are you still considering keeping your contract with Jacobs if you are approved for the acting city manager appointment?
That is something that has not been discussed at all, that we would have to work that out with Jacobs.
Okay. So help me understand, is this a position that is coming through the Jacobs contract, or is this an appointment coming directly through the city?
Well, I don't know if she can answer that, but I'll try to answer it, Councilwoman.
Okay.
I going on what Councilman George Turner said. I went out and tried to find the best person, highest use for what we're doing. We don't have any direct employees right now, so she has a contract that you already know about, of course, with Jacobs. I don't know if we have the ability, as we sit today, to bring her on direct as we are trying to even make our city clerk our first employee. unless we entertain from mayor and council a direct contract with her, instead of being with Jacobs, a direct contract with City of Stonecrest.
Right. And as she works with us today, she has a direct contract through Jacobs, right? She's not a Jacobs employee. She's not a city employee. She has a direct contract with Jacobs, right? So,
Yes.
I guess I'm asking, well, I think you answered it. There's two options. We can either ask whoever is appointed acting city manager for a direct contract with the city. But I was curious is if you were bringing this as a Jacobs, as a part of the Jacobs contract or not.
I had no preference, because as long as we get the right person, that's all that really matters. But Miss Jackson would be the one to have to answer, with her own deal, of course, with Jacobs, how that could be worked out. But I'm confident that the senior managers that we have a relationship with at Jacobs, and I'm sure Miss Jackson has the same relationship, if not better, we can work this out. But I'll let Miss Jackson speak on that behalf.
Yeah, just at this time, there's not been any discussion with them about this. So I would have to see what they would suggest and what my contract calls for in terms of being able to terminate that contract.
Okay. And do you foresee changes in your scope of work, that what is in your contract now, and then what would be roles and responsibilities that would be in a contract directly with the city?
Yes, there would definitely have to be changes because my current contract does not call for me overseeing the daily operations of the organization.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up, Councilwoman Cobble, because I thought the same. The way we looked at it today, and before, of course, Ms. Jackson was available for being full-time, it was a consultative service. This is straight by the charter, straight by the rules, city manager, running the city, reporting to the mayor, everything that's in the charter. That we talked about, that we know that's there. Ms. Jackson, is that your understanding?
That is my understanding.
Okay. Council, floor is
Okay. And if you don't mind, so I'm trying to understand, well, not understand, I'm trying to, I guess, get it in chronological order in my mind. So the original, when Miss Jackson, and it's Janice, right? Not Janet. I don't want to mistaken you for the Jackson family. Okay.
Yeah, the record.
The cool coincidence, but the first time you were presented to us, it was for the acting city manager role, and I think that's when it was disclosed to us at that time that you could not take that role as it is similarly being presented today because of your other commitments. And then following that, a contract was executed for you to do consulting work with Jacobs. So not that the city council together had decided that having you as a consultant would be a better route, but that Jacobs felt that they could use your expertise in that area. So you were brought along as a consultant for Jacobs. And so now we're asking to kind of go back to the original request now that your availability is different than before.
I think that's reasonably accurate. I guess the only thing that would be different from what you said is that at the time Jacobs initially proposed it to me, it was first as a consultant, then the idea of interim came up. Jacobs at that time felt reasonably sure that even in the scope of my work as a city manager, many of the things that they had included in that scope of work, such as building relationships with and between the mayor and council, are part of what a city manager does anyway. So, I mean, I think that's the only difference. But yes, we would just, in terms of how that contract arrangement would change, I guess one of the things I just thought about, if I'm not mistaken, when you all previously had interim city managers, they were under the Jacob contract as well. Is that right?
They were.
Okay, so this seems to be new territory. Having said that, this seems to be new territory, and we just have to work out what those arrangements are. I would certainly welcome the council's input into what they think is the best arrangement for the mayor and council of Stonecrest, as I talked to Jacobs about how we might rearrange the language or terminate the contract.
Okay, so that we're all on that same page, and thank you for the clarity, Councilwoman Cobble and Ms. Jackson. I boggled that. That wasn't Jackson's fault. That wasn't Wainwright's fault. That wasn't John Mante's fault. Certainly wasn't Pledge Joyner's idea at all. It's 100% mayor. And, you know, folks in leadership, you try to do the best you can to make the best decisions that are in front of you for the entire good. That means that I have to look out for the city. I have to look out for you all. I have to look out for each constituent. I have to look out for every committee. So I want to be the first to offer, if there was some confusion, which there was, on how Ms. Jackson came about. That was my fault, because she came in. I got it, you know, Ms. Jackson, I don't know you from Adam House Cat. I just know that my impression of you is very favorable after 2 months, and that watching you work, watching how you interview, watching how you interface with staff, your experience level, the amount of respect that people have for you instantly, that's what turned me to this situation. But Ms. Cobble, Councilwoman Cobble is correct. It went from one piece to another. And again, I have to look at I look at myself in the mirror for that. But that doesn't mean we should throw away an excellent person. And that's not what you all say, I know, but I'm just saying, that doesn't mean we should throw away an excellent person that could be a great team member and guide us and help us, you know, during our way. Because quite frankly, folks, she knows more than all of us combined, me included. And we're at a point now where we're offering services that we're taking over from the county, where we need Ms. Jackson's expertise. If we can, I don't wish any ill for her next job opportunity, but if she can stay here 3, 4, 5, 6 months or a year, however long it takes to us to get to the next level, I'd be proud to have her. So don't hold anything against her or anybody else, because I know that you all at council, some of you individual members have talked to senior management at Jacobs so that they can tell you this was their idea to introduce, you know, Ms. Jackson to us, because they know we need help, and we do need help. And what better opportunity than we have now that staff, myself, and you all have had an opportunity to interface with a person that she's not just showing up at the next meeting going, okay, guys, here we go. I found myself an acting city manager. I got him off the Bed Creek down here at St. Simon Island. They're ready to go to work. It's not the case with Ms. Jackson. She's been working with us, had an opportunity to experience her high level and her quality of work, and more so her team spirit. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood she did not come here through some trickery mechanism. I met her. I like what I saw better. And then now that's why I'm putting her up now for my appointment and your confirmation. The floor is still open. So I'm listening to council.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm offering a substitute motion.
Before you do that, Mr. Turner, I hopeful that we all get a chance to chime in.
Yes, sir. Mr. Clanton. All
right. And I know Councilwoman Grind hasn't come in either, so I just want to make sure that we all get an opportunity. So, you know, with the fight that council has been asking for quite some time now for either an acting city manager, a search for a permanent city manager, I think that this is a great opportunity for us to move in that in-between ground. But I would like to ask, I don't know who I'm asking, whether it's the mayor or Ms. Jackson, but it's obvious that the intent is for you to be here only as a bridge until or while we are searching for a permanent city manager. Is that correct?
I think that's half correct, Mr. Clanton. And the reason I say I think that's half correct is because I can't rub the crystal ball and say, well, Ms. Jackson, she's only going to be here a couple, 3 months. Ms. Jackson may very well, if she so desires, if we select her as acting, she may compete. I can't speak for her, but she may compete for the permanent job. May or not. That's I want to leave that flexible for Ms. Jackson and for council, but
So with that answer, Mr. Mayor, I guess I can ask you then, are you prepared to express to council a time frame for the search? Is there a search in the back of your mind somewhere, a search period or time for a permanent city manager, even if that included Ms. Jackson and whoever?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
First of the year.
That's pretty much all I have to ask. I've seen your background. I've did my own research as well as the information that you provided, and so I'm very comfortable with moving ahead. But because we certainly need, as council has expressed, at least a acting real city manager, whether it's with or within or outside of Jacobs, so that we can lay aside some of the concerns, particularly with financial issues that we would typically assign to an acting city manager. I'm done, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Grimes.
All the places we could go if there was a level of trust that I didn't have to bring up. And I am a very transparent person, and what I say is exactly what I mean to say. Ms. Jackson, as I remember meeting you when you were presented to us in one fashion, and then realized that it was going to be something else, kind of caused a little jam for me. Your paper and your reputation, stellar, and they match, and that's awesome. And that's what I was looking for when I initially met you. I am concerned now even the more that if you come to Stonecrest and you are what your reputation says you are and the paper that you have presented to us, and you leave in January and we don't have someone else here, that brings me back to where we are today. I'm very concerned about that. You get excited to have your dad have a new girlfriend and he says, this is gonna be your mama. And then you realize, no, she just a house cleaner. She ain't gonna be your mom. So bait and switch is how I sum my meeting with you. Whether it was intentional, Mayor looking in the mirror, or Jacob presenting you or not presenting you, or saying, come, no, don't go in that capacity, go in another. I'm just flat-footed ready for the city of Stonecrest to have our own city manager. The council deserves it. The mayor needs it. Staff wants it. And the constituents absolutely deserve it. And so I don't want to say tonight, yay, Miss Janice is here. I really, really want to think harder now that you are available to be more than a consultant. And when I get that 2 hours before the meeting or 3 hours before the meeting, you know, that's a lot, because when I do take seriously when I raise my hand for something. And so I just want to be transparent with you. I am so pleased that your reputation and your paper match up. Because believe it or not, I did make some calls too. And there are a lot of folks who know your great work, and I'm sure that Stonecrest could benefit from it. But there are a lot of things that cause me right now to just have a few trust issues. And it's not anything personal, because we've never had a personal one-on-one conversation. We've had some communications one-on-one, but Tammy and Janice have never had that kind of conversation. So I'm going to just be honest with you, whereas I'm one half happy that you're on that side to be an acting city manager, I'm still concerned that you have an affiliation with Jacobs and the promise potentially of another job, and then you'd be gone again. So I'm all over the place right now with how I feel about you being presented, you know, as the one the mayor wants to appoint tonight. But I did want to say honestly and transparently to you how I feel and how I want to make sure that when I do something, I'm doing it in the best interest of the constituents with all my questions asked and answered. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm kind of glad to see you still on the screen though. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for your listening time.
You're welcome.
Well, before we move on with the, I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
No, me, no.
No, I see Councilman Turner. I didn't know whether he wanted to make a statement or not. But I wanted to say this to you, Ms. Jackson, and I'm not going to belabor the point. We did have a conversation together, and you were very transparent with me, and I was also with you. And I was very impressed with your skill set, very impressed with your background in academics. And my concern is this, that, and I appreciate your openness with me, that you will be an interim city manager only until that other job comes through. And maybe not even, but if it doesn't come through, then you'll consider Stonecrest possibly. But my thing is, that's why I was asking you about longevity. And I'm trying to express this in a way that's not inappropriate in any kind of way. That's why I was concerned about your longevity with us. Are you with us until we get a city manager, or are you just with us until that other job comes through and you're gone?
You know, again, in all transparency, at the time I interviewed for that position, I was asked, if we offer you the position, is there any reason you wouldn't take it? And I said no. So I feel like I have to honor the commitment that I made to them prior to, and that was done as part of their application process. So I made that commitment to them prior to you all extending this offer to me. So all I can do is tell you where my commitments are. When I make commitments, I try to keep them. That's very important in terms of my integrity and my reputation. So all I can do is be honest with you.
No, that's fine. I appreciate you. You just answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
So council, again, this is for my appointment and for your confirmation. And that is the person that I am appointing, that I desire to appoint for acting city manager. It has been moved and properly second, and we've heard discussion. So the floor is open, either for vote. That's the only way you can do it, is by vote.
Councilman Turner, I think you must be muted, sir. George Turner.
So I think at this point, we can entertain a substitute motion.
I have a question about that, Mr. Turner, because unless you're putting in another person, your substitute motion would be for unless it's for time or something else, because this is the person that I'm offering for your confirmation.
Well, here's the substitute motion.
I'll hear your substitute motion.
I move that we defer a decision on this matter to the next regular city council meeting, which is November 9th, because this was very short notice.
There's a substitute motion on the floor, council.
I'll second that.
Properly moved in second. We will vote on the substitute motion. And if I recall correctly, Mr. Dumont, we can vote to actually have the substitute motion and then handle business as it is today, which is to move for consideration until the next regular scheduled meeting, which is November 9th. So properly moved in second for the substitute motion. I'm going to be the first to vote. I say aye for the substitute motion and for moving the date. District 1, Jimmy Clanton.
I say nay.
District 2, Rob Turner.
Aye.
District 3, Jasmine Cobble.
Aye.
District 4, George Turner.
Aye.
District 5, Tammy Grimes.
Aye.
Ayes have it to move for the decision on the next regular scheduled meeting for November 9th. While we're on this, I'm going to make comments now. You all talk about issue. You all talk about doing the things that we say we're going to do. You all talk about, I should have known. These are the things you all move your lips on, and that's fine. And I really don't take kindly at all to the term bait and switch. I don't care how it was meant. I really am tired, quite frankly, of you all being individually or collectively treating Jacobs as if they're some kind of stranger, if they're doing something wrong, that they're trying to get over on us, when some of you aren't even remotely clear about how well that company does for us. You're not even remotely clear. If you don't know Miss Jackson, it's because 3 of you decided not to talk to her. 3 of you decided not to even have a conversation with her. So now when we come to having a really good opportunity to select someone, you feel as though you're in the dark because you didn't even make the effort, even when she was and is consulting with us, to have a conversation with her. So to banter around terms like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling this because of this term, or I'm not, you know, just something wrong. Oh, yeah. Nonsense. So we're going to take the time to do exactly what Councilman George Turner says. We're going to come back second week in November. And as my appointment is still going to be the same. I'm going to make the same appointment to her. Now, to be fair to Ms. Jackson, and she has been open, honest, transparent, everything she said, she is, and I believe it, and I've witnessed it for myself. Thank God for her if she can spend 3 days here. So if we get her for 2 months and somebody makes her an offer that she wants to take, Godspeed, Ms. Jackson. But in the meantime, we have an opportunity to even if it's for 6 weeks or 6 months, we have an opportunity to participate and learn from one of the best that I have seen. And I have more experience than you all about this, whether you like it or not. So with that, we'll do exactly the way we voted. Councilman George Turner will and staff and council. But I personally would appreciate you all keeping some of the personal stuff to yourself, because that doesn't make it better. You have to understand, I am doing what I asked you all to do, which is come to the middle. And I don't read social media because it makes me too angry to look at the idiotic comments that come out of that. But sometimes somebody shows me something when somebody said, hey, when you ask the council to come to the middle, somebody's going to be wearing an orange jumpsuit. Okay, idiotic nonsense, stupid people comments like that. And that's not what this is about at all. When I said, let's come to the middle, what I mean by that, this is a perfect example. By charter, by right, by position, you know, this is my appointment for your confirmation, for you to confirm my appointment. Confirm, not to pick, not to decide, not to weigh in, but to confirm. But I want to come to the middle with council on these very important issues. So I bring this to a point where you can have say, where you can interview, where you can talk. Because we didn't treat Julian Jackson like this. He shows up at one meeting. We said he was good. Next thing he's in. And the next thing I know, Pledge Joyner's doing all the work for 8 months. So we didn't treat this way. So now here it is. And I'll get off my soapbox on this. Here we are with a woman that's super qualified, that has ran cities and municipalities, not twice, not 5, 10 times our size, 10 times. And certainly could take us to where we need to go, even if it's for 2 months, hopefully for 6. But I don't want to jinx her other opportunity by saying, oh, Ms. Jackson, I hope something happens to you so that you can come stay with us. Because we have a great staff as it is already. Pledge Joyner has been our leader. That guy has taken all the cannonballs, all the shots, all the cheap talk, everything. And he still is Obama-ish in nature. Unlike his mayor, where I have to hold it in over a trash can just to get past the meetings. I just wish, players, I was more like you. I say it all the time. So having said that, folks, thank you for the consideration. Thank you, Councilman George Turner, for bringing it to next month, the regular the second meeting. I have seen enough this meeting, and Mr. George Turner, Mayor Pro Tem, you will be taking over the meeting from this point. Have a good evening, and Godspeed.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Clerk. Madam City Clerk. What is next on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is public hearings. We have one for rezoning application RZ 20-005, 6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Evans Mill Road.
Thank you. Council, you have a rezoning item on the agenda. And at this time, we can hear from staff. Mr. Wheeler.
Yes, sir. Hang on for 1 second.
Mayor Pro Tem, while Mr. Wheeler's getting things together, I may have lost my place in the agenda. Was public hearings not next? Before old business? Or did we change? I'm sorry, we do a lot. Megan, maybe you can help.
Yes, I can clarify if you'd like, Mayor Pro Tem, or.
Yes, please, because I was working off the old agenda.
Okay, so they moved old business after presentations and before appointments. So the SLUP 20-003 was passed. And I believe you were having technical difficulties during that, Councilwoman Cobble.
Okay, well, that would explain why I'm lost.
There you go. And so
Okay.
we did miss public comments. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We did.
Okay.
We can go back to public comments if you'd like.
Mr. Wheeler, please hold RZ 20-005-6251 public hearing item, and we will move to public comments. It's item number 8 on the agenda. At this time, Madam City Clerk, I will turn it over to you to conduct public comments.
Okay, and just for transparency, I did have a couple of more public comments for the budget, but I'm going to read them into the public comments now, and we will be forwarding those to the finance department, and they're going to answer all of those on the website by Wednesday. They're going to put all the questions that are asked on the website Wednesday and have answers.
But are you saying that these came as general public comments and they're about the budget?
So on it, they put public comment on budget. So they probably really meant for the public hearing, but I want to read them into the record anyways, because we still have time to, answer their questions on Wednesday.
And proceed.
Okay. So this is from a Miss Cruick. The city of Stonecrest needs an outdoor park that is accessible to children in the area, well lit with outdoor grilling, seating, picnic area, basketball, bike trails, walking trails, dog park, restrooms, etc. Much like Deshawn Park in Stone Mountain, somewhere centrally located. This is from Angela Russell. The subject is COVID Care Fund. How and who will handle the funds designated for families, and where can you apply? This is from Jennifer Wilson. My name is Jennifer Wilson, and I reside in Windsor Downs subdivision. How is it that Kenny Brew, another concrete company, can submit an application when it's been established through the current court proceedings that DeKalb County has sole control over any company that is trying to provide this type of service? Did he receive a letter from DeKalb? Not following the established IGA protocol has resulted in a current court proceeding by the city of Stonecrest on admission. You do not have the authorization to grant permission for this type of business. Entertaining this application is creating a pattern for the city of Stonecrest for usurping the process that has been put in place by DeKalb County to prevent an abundance of toxic environmental facilities. Metro Green is literally 4 miles from Kenny Brew's location. This is too much, and because he is resubmitting his application to have yet another cement company within 4 miles of the one that's in court right now, this application should be denied so the city is not in court with yet another battle. This is another public comment on the budget from a Sahara Smith. Hello, I would like to provide input on the proposed budget for Stonecrest. As there continues to be improvement on the streets and roads in the area, I think that there should be some focus placed on expanding sidewalks. Many citizens are having to risk walking in the streets in many areas lacking sidewalks. I am between Panola and Evans Mill. It would be nice to be able to walk, bike to the trail without having to drive. I would also like to see expansion on the trail and possibly a dog park. With everything being more remote, an investment in public internet would also be a plus. Thanks, Sahara. This is from Akeem Cooper. This is a public comment on the budget. My name is Akeem Cooper, and I'm a resident of District 3. I'm sending this email in order to request that the city of Stonecrest ensure that money for expanded sidewalks and parks remain a priority for the upcoming budget. I live fairly close to the new Farrington Parkway green space, which has just been acquired by the city of Stonecrest, and I would love to see the park not only be developed in the near future, but also become walkable and accessible for nearby neighborhoods. Additionally, Rock Springs Road is in need of sidewalks, as it is pretty dangerous for the pedestrians who are oftentimes forced to compete with traffic as they travel down the road. Thank you for your time and all of your hard work. Akeem Cooper. This is from Dionysia Hassan. Hello, we are a family of 7, and I would like to see sidewalks near Murphy Candler Elementary School. We live within walking distance, but cannot even walk our children to school because there are no sidewalks nor a stoplight at the intersection. Also, it would be awesome to get a beautiful park on this side as well. One with swings, slides, skate ramp, walking trail, gazebos. The closest one to me is a 30-minute to Deshawn Park, which is not even in DeKalb County. This is from Turquoise Mosley. It is so disappointing that the people that represent us can't seem to get it together. Mayor, I would really like to see you have a better approach to how you deal with the council members. I am not okay with money being spent on staff to help you communicate better with council. I think things would be better just by you taking a different approach and treat people with the respect you would want as a person. You don't have to like the council members, but they was voted in just like you. So working together is a must. And the last one is from Dave Marcus. Good evening, all. I want to share how disappointed I am in the feasibility study for the police force in Stonecrest. Assumes that we want a police force just like every other police force in the country, from Ferguson to Kenosha and points in between. I do not believe that the police force built on traditional model of absolute command and control, without community policing, not a new idea, and without any of the innovations being discussed in the United States today, just as militarized and violent as any other police force, does not belong in Stonecrest, the city of innovation. Stonecrest has the opportunity to create from the ground up a police force that could be an example of what policing should be like. As all of you know, there have been huge discussions about changing policing in America. There have been suggestions for totally reinventing it, for improving what's there, and just for adding new components. And the feasibility study specifically says that none of this was considered. Why this orientation to just recreate what's been created somewhere else and what we already have? The whole study takes its numbers from looking at existing police forces in DeKalb, in Brookhaven, and other places, and using their numbers to model our police force. They are saying our police force should be modeled on the way they do it everywhere else, and have been doing it for decades, and unnecessarily murdering people. That wouldn't even make sense in, say, Johns Creek, let alone Stonecrest. The study even warns us. It says, and I quote, "Note that other models of service provision, such as problem-oriented policing or community policing, may require different staffing levels. These policing models use different benchmarks to assess overall performance and can also vary with regard to needed capital expenditures, such as for vehicles and facilities. This study does not attempt to cost out policing services under these alternative models. Second, we don't see from this study any advantages of our own force. Citizens want better policing. We want more patrolling, faster response times, and a 911 center that always answers and never puts callers on hold. It doesn't serve anyone to hear your call is important, when perhaps reporting an immediate threat, a violent crime, or a serious accident with injuries. It is disappointing that the study does not in any way address what it would take to provide better service. It gives range of expense to do it similarly to DeKalb and to 2 other cities. Again, the question should be answered is why we recreate what's been created elsewhere and is not better than what we already have from DeKalb County. Council people, if you're going to give us a police force, we want a better one, more responsive and more human and community oriented than any other force in the area. Please fight for that. And that is all. And I may have gone over the 3 minutes, but I did not set a timer.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on public comment? Did we miss anything? The public hearing, public comment. Okay, next is public hearing. And I believe we had skipped an item on the public hearing. The first item on rezoning that I have on my agenda is for RZ 20004. Is that different from what you have?
Let me check. Hang on. You may be correct. Let's
I think
see.
some of the numbers had gotten confused because I think the old business was supposed to be 3, ending in 3, and then this one is ending in 4.
Well, old business was a special land use permit, so it was a SLUP.
Oh, not a rezoning. That's right.
It was the old one. Yeah, so it was in line.
Then Mr. Wheeler,
Let me just.
Yes, sir.
are you prepared with RZ 20004?
Yes, sir. I think the request was for RZ 2020-005 to be heard first, because the application didn't have. Okay, all right.
It's
Well,
not. I think that it was rearranged right before I sent it out.
okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay, we will hear them. We will hear them all. So it doesn't matter which order we go in. I'm sorry to put it that way, but we need to move on. So
Okay.
go ahead and start with the 05, since that is what's queued up, 05? Wheeler, are you ready for 05?
It doesn't really matter where the agenda is, that's the way I'm gonna go. Wherever you guys tell me to present, that's the way I'm gonna present.
Madam Clerk?
Let's do 4.
Okay.
Then we will start with
That's the
4.
order the decision is in as well. So let's just keep it the way it is.
Rezoning application RZ 20-004, 2654 DeKalb Medical Parkway. The applicant is requesting to rezone subject property to HR1 high density residential and FLU character to neighborhood center for existing senior housing development. Mr. Wheeler.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. First case is brought to you again this evening. It's RZ 20-004. Subject property is 2654 DeKalb Medical Parkway. The applicant is Prestwick Companies, represented by Mr. Edric Harris. The applicant again is requesting to rezone the subject property from M light industrial to HR1 high density residential and future land use character to neighborhood center for existing senior housing development. The current zoning again is light industrial. The future land use currently for the subject property is office professional. Some of the policies for the office professional include focus high density redevelopment along major transportation corridors in areas with alternate transit options, create a complex mixed-use development and reduce automobile dependency and travel to obtain basic services. The surrounding uses are residential and institutional. And the surrounding zoning is MR1, medium density residential, and again, light industrial district. Currently, the property has maintained its original zoning classification of light industrial under the DeKalb County, under the Stonecrest zoning ordinance per the DeKalb County zoning case Z 75036. Previously, the subject property was located in the Stonecrest overlay district 2. However, that property was removed when the district was updated this past year by the City Council. The property is currently being used for a senior housing complex, which was developed and approved back in 2017. The property can be characterized as being slightly elevated towards the DeKalb Medical Parkway and then be even throughout the rest of the property. Again, previously, it should be noted that under the Stonecrest overlay, the applicant had the inherent right to develop a senior housing complex without giving approval from the City Council. They did not need a special land use permit. Without a special land use permit, without being in the overlay, anybody who looking to develop senior housing would have to be under the correct zoning classification and seek a special land use permit from the City Council. So therefore, the applicant is non-conforming in his current zoning classification at this point in time. Again, this is his current zoning map of the subject property, RZ 20-004 again, is light industrial. This is the future land use map, again, showing that it's office professional. This is a conceptual site plan, or to say this was the site plan that the applicant submitted to staff back in 2017. Which staff again is reviewed and approved, and which is currently being built at this point in time. These are the elevations that they submitted as well. Staff forgot to include a real life picture of the property, but it looks exactly as you see it right now. These are the standards of review, which you'll be using to make a determination by. Staff has already taken upon itself to review each of these criteria, as well as the standard review for zoning and land use, which is submitted to you in your council packet via the Stonecrest, via the staff report. Staff decided to combine both criteria to streamline the process and make it easier for council and staff to review. This is the zoning for zoning review. Permit used as suitable in use in the development. The star represents the location of the subject property. Again, as you can see, the properties are existing senior housing. Located to the north is an apartment complex on Bella Vista. Located to across the street from the subject property is Emmett Hill Hospital. Located to the south of the subject property is can't remember the name again. It's a medical complex. I just lost just it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Again, located to the northwest of the subject property is Millgrove High School, and located to the northeast of the subject property, Somerset condominiums. Zoning review conforming with the policy and intent of the comprehensive plan. Currently, the property is located in office professional. In that characterization and that future land use character, office professional does not allow for apartments to exceed over a certain density requirement. So therefore, the applicant has to ask for a change in future land use character to be aligned with the current zoning. Staff believes that the proposed zoning change and development of the residential development would be in keeping in policy and intent of the comprehensive plan to make everything streamlined. So again, staff believes that with the approval of the zoning change and future land use permit, future land use, the use would be in compliance with both the policy and the permit. The permit, but the zoning and the future land use. Again, the zoning review, the property has rezoned economic use. Currently as zone is legal non-conforming, so it would be hard for the property to be able to use the property for residential. So again, light industrial is only permitted for light for warehousing and for small warehouses. Would it be adversely affect environmental and historic sites? There's no historic buildings on the site, and the zoning will not affect any environmental issues on the site. Conditions for either approval or disapproval. Staff believes there are existing conditions such as existing senior housing on the subject property that would give approval of the zoning change and the future land use change. Will the proposed zoning affect usability or nearby properties? Again, staff does not believe, as the property has already been used for senior housing. Excess use of streets and transportation, utility and schools. Again, there will be no excess use of streets, transportation, or utilities of this property. So therefore, staff does recommend approval of RZ 20-004. The applicant is here. Before we give to him, do you have any questions of staff?
Staff, I would ask you to hold until we hear from the applicant and the proponents, and then we'll come back to council. At this time, whose district? This District 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Turner, are you prepared to open for public hearing?
Yes, sir. I make a motion that we open public hearing for rezoning application RZ-20-004-2654 DeKalb Medical Parkway. The applicant requests to rezone subject to HR-1, high density residential, and FLU, character to neighborhood center for existing senior housing development.
Been properly moved. Can we get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded open for public hearing. All in favor say aye. District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
We motion carries 5-0. We're now open for public hearing. The applicant is present. You get 10 minutes. At this time, we'll hear from the applicant.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. Of course, I'm Edric Harris representing Brightstone. And again, thanks to Mr. Wheeler and Mr. Turner for the introductions. As you all know, this is a development that is currently, completed. I guess we completed the senior community about a year ago. And again, thanks to all of you for your support to bringing that community to reality. And what we're asking for today is to basically bring the zoning for the property in compliance with the use. Of course, we submitted under the overlay. And right now, as Presswood Development, we're long-term owners committed to the community. And there'll be activities, throughout the history of owning the property that being zoned properly will allow us for different types of financing and different things to kind of keep the community sustainable and help with our upkeep of the community. I think from there, I would really just like to reserve any time if there's any additional questions. Again, thank you all for the opportunity to come before you tonight.
Thank you. Are there any other, anyone else speaking in favor of this project? Anyone else in favor of this project to speak? Anyone else in favor of the project? Hearing none, the applicant will reserve his time for rebuttal. At this time, we will hear from the proponents, from the opponents of the application. You'll have 10 minutes.
Mayor Pro Tem, I did not receive any comments for this public hearing.
No opponents.
Nothing in favor or against.
Thank you. Having heard no comments against this development, we'll return to the applicant for any rebuttal. You want to use the rest of your time now or yield?
I will yield that time, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Turner, you can close public hearing and we'll go to council comments.
All right, I'd like to close public hearing on rezoning application RZ-20-004-2654, DeKalb Medical Parkway. The applicant requests to rezone subject to HR1 high density residential and FLU character to neighborhood center for existing senior housing development.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to close the public hearing on this item. All in favor, say aye. Starting with District 1. I'm sorry.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4. Aye. District 5.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Staff, go with your recommendation again.
Staff recommended approval of this application.
All right, council, floor is yours.
You ready? Are you asking for a motion?
No, comments first,
Okay.
if there are any.
No, I'm ready. I don't have any comments.
You ready for the motion?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve the rezoning application for RZ-20-004-2654, DeKalb Medical Parkway. The applicant requests to rezone subject to HR1, high density residential and FLU character, the neighborhood center for existing senior housing development.
Second.
Been properly moved in second to approve this item. Are you ready for the question?
Ready.
All in favor, say aye. Starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4. Aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is rezoning application RZ-20-005-6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Evans Mill Road. The applicant requested, is requesting a withdrawal of the application to rezone subject to RSM. That's the way it's written. But folks, the applicant is requesting a withdrawal of the application for RSM. Mr. Wheeler, staff.
Yes, sir. As Mayor Pro Tem have already elaborated, the applicant, Parkland Communities, represented by Battle Law, is requesting a withdrawal of RZ 20-005-6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Evans Mill Road. Previously, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the withdrawal. Staff is in agreement with it. So therefore, staff does not have a presentation for this application, but since we have advertised it, we must still have a public hearing. And I believe the city clerk has several city public comments for this application.
Good. And at this time, I believe this is in District 4.
Yes, sir.
And I want to go ahead and open this for public hearing now, unless you have more comments from the staff.
No, sir. No, I don't have any comments at all.
Then I'll entertain a
And
motion.
applicant is here too.
Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to open this for public hearing. This
So
is in
moved.
District 4. That is my district. Normally I would open it, so I will defer to Councilwoman Cobble.
Sure. I move that we open the public hearing for rezoning application RZ 20-005, 6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Edmonds Mill Road.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to open the public hearing for RZ 20005. Are you ready for the question?
Ready?
All in favor, say aye. Starting with District 1,
Aye.
District 2. District 2, are you there? District 3,
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5,
Aye.
District
I'm sorry.
2,
Aye, I'm sorry.
all right, motion carries 5-0. The public hearing is now open. Is the applicant ready?
City Council members Michelle Battle with Battle Law, 1 West Court Square, Decatur, Georgia, 30030. The applicant is simply asking for withdrawal of the application, and that's actually all I have to say. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else speaking in favor of this withdrawal? Is anyone else speaking in favor of the withdrawal? Last call for anyone in favor of the withdrawal as a public.
Mayor Pro Tem, I
Yes.
do not have any comments in favor.
Thank you. Hearing no other proponents of this application, we'll hear from the opponents. Anyone speaking against this withdrawal?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I have several. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes. And when 10 minutes is up, I will stop reading them.
Go ahead.
Mayor Pro Tem, point of clarification. Madam Clerk, do you have comments opposing the application or opposing the withdrawal?
Opposing the application.
Okay.
Yes.
So
That's the way it was advertised.
right. Yep.
Mhm.
So I guess I just want to make sure that for the record, though, this is clear. Because I think the way we've stated it, it will appear as if they are opposing the withdrawal when actually they would have been not opposing, what's the other word?
They would have been in favor of the.
They would have been in
favor
favor of the withdrawal. So we maybe should have read them when he was calling. Have you called for in favor yet? I'm sorry.
Yes, we
Okay.
have.
I
But-
think the comments are either in opposition or in support of the application. And so while council has the ability to vote to withdraw the application, the comments are either in support or opposition of the application.
So perhaps I asked for the wrong move, and we should have asked for those who oppose the application.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And
So, for public comment, we'll hear from those who oppose the original application.
correct. Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to set my timer. Okay, the first one is from Ken Cox, requesting that my comments be read into the public hearing records at each meeting. As a resident of Stonecrest, whose property is adjacent to the proposed rezoned property, I'm opposed to the rezoning of the 178.1 acres of land from R100 residential medium lot district to RSM, small lot residential mix district. I feel that the developers have not addressed the potential to cause flooding of adjacent communities and properties by building 300 plus units, nor do I feel that the additional traffic problems caused by this development have been addressed adequately to the resident living here. I have no problem with R100 development of this tract. Respectfully, Ken Cox, 3801 Evans Mill Road. This one is from William Shelton. My name is William Shelton. My residence is 3526 Foxhound Run in the Hunters subdivision. My wife and I have lived here for 34 years. Our first objection to the above rezoning is the negative impact potential on our property values via rezoning to RSM. Secondly, can Parkland guarantee the proposed home pricing as presented on 9/17? If not, we are concerned about the quality of potential neighbors. Thirdly, we object to the increased construction and homeowner traffic through our neighborhood in support of development that's not part of our neighborhood. This one is from Gregory and Gwendolyn Hicks. My wife and I are residents in the Spring Lake subdivision. Our address is 3370 Maple Leaf Court, Lithonia, Georgia 30038. We have lived here for over 28 years. We have had some concerns and questions about the rezoning on Rock Springs Road, Evans Mill Road, and next to Hunters Hill subdivision located here in Stonecrest. Our property is within 500 feet of the proposed development. We have a vested interest in what happens within our community. We believe that this development as proposed will impact us negatively. We request that our comments, questions, and concerns be read and included in the official records. Here are our questions and concerns. What will be the impact on the existing subdivisions and community in the following regards? Water and sewage infrastructure, water runoff onto adjacent properties, any add-ons to existing easements, utilities, infrastructure, traffic effects on Rock Springs Road. There have been many accidents on this road. Lack of street lighting for this part of Rock Springs Road, ability and inability to handle more traffic on this road as it is in its present state. Entrances, exits of this development onto a road that is filled with curves and limited sight distance. What types of dwelling, buildings, structures, lot sizes, and price point range. Thank you in advance for addressing our concerns. Due to the pandemic, we will not be able to attend the public hearing for this discussion. Okay. This is from Parkland Communities. They have several. So global reasons. Number one, safety. A fire department on Evans Mill Road uses Rock Springs Road access to provide safety to surrounding area. A roundabout will not provide safe access or ease of traffic for the fire department or other emergency vehicles. What accommodations are outlined for the ease of travel during or emergency vehicles due to the need for easy travel? Speed bumps to deter accidents on Rock Springs Road have been denied. Increasing the density increases the risk of heightening crime, low response time from the law enforcement, no sidewalks on Rock Springs Road, Evans Mill Road, or the surrounding streets, and inadequate sidewalks on Panola Road. Number two, resources. An unreliable internet access. B, frequent interruptions of power for the area in total. C, inadequate roads to accommodate the present number of cars. Panola Road and Evans Mill Road are already overpopulated. D, inadequate school space. Overcrowding of classrooms will have a negative effect on learning for the area children. E, limited grocery stores. 2 grocery stores in the immediate area. Poor selection of healthy foods. F, overabundance of fast foods. G, limited other shopping areas. I, Stonecrest Mall was never adequate for the shopping behavior of the residents. Stonecrest Mall has an increasing loss of anchor stores despite other malls' prosperity. H, underdeveloped green space. Paucity of parks and recreational facilities. To use the walking paths required travel by vehicles to walk or run. The closest entrance to the walking trail has inadequate parking and cars are already parking on the grassy areas. No sit-down restaurants. No additional resources will be provided to this area for 10 years. The present census will not include residents of 347 homes. 3, millennial living. A, they prefer to rent and not purchase. B, not an area where they can live, work, and play. C, public transportation is inadequate. The MARTA rail is non-existent, will increase the number of cars on the road. Bus service is not easily accessible, 2 miles in either direction from Rock Springs Road. 4, other construction. Barrington Farms on Rock Springs Road already has townhomes. This project has not been completed and the occupancy is rate 30% over 10 years and filled with renters. 5, the project will change the topography of the area. Townhomes and smaller homes will not be able to accommodate the number of vehicles per household. Therefore, cars will be parked outside of the residences on the street. B, street parking can be a safety hazard depending on the number of cars and the width of the streets. C, cars on the street will be unsightly. D, crowded street parking can discourage other residents to occupy the homes. E, unoccupied homes also increases the possibility of crime and unauthorized squatting. F, townhomes and smaller homes encourage renters without commitment to this area. G, this project encourages investors to rent out and they will also not have an investment commitment to the area. 6, changing the topography as outlined will negatively impact the home values, which are already devalued. 7, mandatory homeowners association fees will not be enforced. Specifics for Rock Springs Road. 1, traffic is already heightened on Rock Springs Road. 2, over 30 years, despite the posted speed limit, 2 to 3 accidents occur annually. 3, property damage 2 to 3 times each year have occurred to the present residents. 4, deaths due to speeding and the number of cars have occurred on Rock Springs Road. 5, no left turn will not and cannot be enforced. Suggestions. 1, spend the $1 million outline to provide a roundabout on Rock Springs Road on improving the present infrastructure by increasing the resources needed to accommodate the new residents. 2, keep the area as R100. This will not change the topography of the present community. Fewer residences and therefore fewer numbers of vehicles. Larger residences add more potential to have cars parked in their garages. No street parking, and it maintains the beauty of the area. This is from Carl O'Neill. I'm writing concerning the development of townhomes in the Rock Springs and Evans Mill Road area. The city of Stonecrest was created to avoid these types of development. I'm for development, but the proposed changing prime R100 to R75 will have a negative impact on our city. We need R100 single-family homes where homeowners want work and live. When I talk about single-family homes, I'm not talking about starter homes, which a lot of builders like to dump in South DeKalb. Please reject the proposed development. Please read as public comments for this development. That was Carl O'Neill, 3382 Spring Lake Overlook. My name is Cheryl Flowers and I live at 6023 Rock Springs Road, and I'm requesting that my comments be read into the minutes of the City Council's meeting to be held on October 26, 2020. I am opposed to the rezoning of this property. My reasons are many, but I shall only mention a few here. Rock Springs Road is a long, narrow, and winding road which sees an accident at least once a month and sometimes more. Rock Springs Road cannot handle the increased traffic that holds 250 plus homes would add. Pole Creek Bridge, which runs behind most of our homes, as well as the property in question, floods regularly if there's a lot of rain, and I believe that some of the changes proposed by the peoples requesting the rezoning will only make the flooding worse. Our electrical, sewage, and school systems cannot handle more homes. The proposed entrances, of which there are 3 on Rock Springs Road, are in dangerous spots and will only add to the accidents on this road. If high-density homes are added to the area, it would surely call for city transit to accommodate the increased population. Rock Springs Road cannot handle MARTA or any other bus. MARTA looked at this road about 15 years ago and came to the conclusion that Rock Springs Road was not a road that they could use. Many homes in this area are appraised at a much higher price point than the homes they wish to build. If that is allowed, it will only decrease our property value. This is from Cornelius Flowers. And make sure that's, yes. I live at 6023 Rock Springs Road. I'm requesting that my comments be read into the minutes of the City Council's meeting. My 10 minutes is up.
Great, thank you. And you said you have how many comments?
I read all of them except, actually, I already read that one. I only had one more to read after that one, so
Okay.
they're all similar, so.
And it will be made a part of the record even though it was not read.
Correct, I'll put them all in there.
Great, thank you so much. That concludes the opponents of this development. Now we'll go back to the developer or the proponent. You want to use any more time? Opponent or what proponent? Yeah.
No.
Great. Ms. Battle, you said no?
That is correct.
Okay. And I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion to close public hearing on rezoning application was RZ
20005.
yes, dash 6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Evans Mill Road.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to close the public hearing. All in favor say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Public hearing is now closed. Mr. Quila,
Yes, sir.
and your recommendation again.
So again, my recommendation is to support the withdrawal as the Planning Commission recommend to approve the withdrawal of the application.
Council, you've heard the public hearing, you've heard council's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to withdraw the application for rezoning, the rezoning application for RZ-20-005-6251 Rock Springs Road and 3810 Evans Mill Road.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to withdraw this application, to allow the withdrawal of this application. Are you ready for the question?
Ready?
All in favor say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. This application is officially withdrawn. Next item on the agenda for public hearing is special land use permit 200005. This is in District 2, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Wheeler. Waiting for you to introduce it.
Yes, sir. Next application is SLUP 20-005. The applicant is Ms. Tamika Turner. Subject property located is 2381 Hill Cove Drive, located in the Hill Cove subdivision. The applicant is requesting a special land use permit for the operation of a personal care home for 3 individuals. The current zoning for the subject property is small lot residential mix. Future land use character area for this property is suburban residential. Some of the policies for the suburban character area includes protect stable neighborhoods from incompatible development that could alter established single-family residential development patterns and density. Encourage residential development to conform with traditional neighborhood development principles, including improved pedestrian vehicle activity. The surrounding uses are residential, and the surrounding zoning is RSM. Again, the property is located in the Hillvale Cove subdivision. This is the aerial map of the subject property outlined in, I would say, neon blue. This is a zoning map. As you can see, rest of the properties in the subdivision is zoned RSM. This is the site plan of the proposed personal care home. It does meet the minimum requirements, but it include it. I'm sorry. It does pass the minimum requirement for minimum lot size and square footage of the house stated in the supplemental regulations of the Stonecrest zoning ordinance. This is the interior floor plan of the personal care home. This is the front elevation of the subject property. Indicated that there will be no outdoor. There won't be any outdoor. I should not outdoor, but any exterior elevation changes to indicate the subject property is a personal care home. These are the standards of review which you'll be using to make your determination by. Staff has done its own analysis of each criteria, which is given to you in the staff report, which is also in your packet. Staff, based on the findings and conclusions, believe that the applicant does meet all the criteria for approval. So therefore, staff does recommend approval of SLUP 20-006 with the following conditions. And the Planning Commission recommended approval of the application as well. The applicant is here to answer any questions afterwards. And I'll give everybody a minute to look at the conditions. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Turner, you ready to proceed to public hearing?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Hi, good evening.
I make a motion.
Ms. Turner, hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Turner.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Too many Turners here tonight. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to open public hearing for SLUP -20-005, application 2831 Hillvale Cove Drive to operate a personal care home for 3 individuals.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to open this item for public hearing. At this time, the applicant has 10 minutes to make a presentation. Ms. Turner. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Did we vote?
Yes.
No.
No. Hold it. I got it. It's been properly moved and second to open the public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Now, the motion carries 5-0. We are now open for public hearing. The applicant gets 10 minutes to make the presentation. Now, Mrs. Turner, Ms. Turner.
Okay. Hi, good evening. I'm Tamika Turner, owner of Helping Hands Outreach Program. And I put in petition to have a personal care home with more of a community living arrangement. I currently have a Georgia state permit from DCH to operate a 3-person home. So this home has been inspected and approved by Georgia Department of Healthcare Regulation. So that's what I'm asking for. We provide medication administration, food, transportation to and from doctor's appointment, and room and board for the elderly. So these resources are limited. So like I said, the name of my agency is Helping Hands Outreach Program. And the reason for this is just to give back to the community and just bring in positivity here. And that's it for now. I would like to yield.
That is your presentation. How much time is left, Madam City Clerk?
Too much technology. 8 minutes and 50 seconds is left for her.
You have 8 minutes and 50 seconds left for rebuttal. At this time, we will hear from those. Oh, sorry. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of this application?
I have not received any comments in favor of this application.
No other comments in favor of this application. Is there anyone speaking in opposition to this application?
I have not received any comments in opposition of this application.
Again, is there anyone in opposition to this application?
I'm looking to make sure I didn't receive anything as well, Mayor Pro Tem, if for opposition. No, sir, I did not receive anything for this hearing. I did receive for Planning Commission, but I didn't receive anything for City Council meeting.
I have no information about anyone speaking in opposition to this application. I will return to the applicant. You wish to use the rest of your time for rebuttal or additional comments?
No additional comment.
Then I would entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion to close public hearing on SLUP 20-005, application for 2831 Hillvale Cove Drive to operate a personal care home for 3 individuals.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to close the public hearing. All in favor say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Public hearing is now closed on this item. You may now entertain questions for staff or of the applicant before you make your decision, council.
First, I have a question for Ms. Turner in reference to, will you be living in the facility as well?
Yes, I'm here now at the residence, so I live here.
Now, you said you already have approval from the state, if I'm correct. Am I correct?
Yes.
And so have you been operating as a personal care home, or you are going to start soon if you get approval?
I would like to start soon with approval. It's not really operating until I start billing for Medicaid. So that's where this application is for, and we have to have that business license to bill for Medicaid.
And you made a statement about community living arrangement. What does that mean?
That's pretty much providing room and board assistance with medication, helping individuals out in the community so they're not out by themselves, but they're being assisted with grocery shopping, training goals, job search. So those are some of the things that we provide.
Okay, and understanding that we are in a COVID pandemic, is the house susceptible for the safety of the residents that will be there?
Yes, that's one of the main things that Georgia Department of Healthcare Regulations, one of the things that we have to have, making sure we have PPE on site, hand sanitizer, hand wash, posters to wash hands. And not only that, each person has their own room. So it's not 2-to-a-room like most personal care homes are. These rooms do have 1 queen size bed in each room.
One other question, then I'm going to Mr. Willett. I just want to make sure that you don't know me. We're not related in any way, right?
Oh, no. No, I don't.
Put that on record. I don't know
Turner's
about
a
George,
very
but we're not
popular
related.
last name.
Okay, thank you. Now, one question for you, Mr. Wheeler. Did you say that staff approves it and they meet all the qualifications for the personal care home? Are there any qualifications that they don't meet?
No, sir. No, at this time, they meet all the supplemental regulations, and there is no existing personal care home or community living arrangement within the minimum guidelines set forth by the Stonecrest zoning ordinance. So that's the reason why staff recommended approval of the application. But yes, they meet all those supplemental regulations set forth.
All right, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Council, having heard the public hearing and having heard from the applicant and staff, let me first ask staff to repeat their recommendation. I know you just said it, but just repeat it again for the record.
Yeah, so staff recommend approval with 7 conditions, and then the planning commission recommended approval, approval of the city council as well with those conditions set forth by staff.
Would you read those conditions quickly?
Yes. Limit the use of the personal care home only to 3 people. Access shall be limited to the existing curb cut off Hillvale Cove Drive. All refuse containers shall be screened from public view except during pickup. No identification sign for personal care home shall be posted on the property. The owner/operator must live on the property according to the supplemental regulations cited in Stonecrest zoning ordinance section 4.2.31 and 4.2.41. Applicant shall secure the necessary certification by the state of Georgia and the necessary business licenses, building permits, and certification of occupancy for 3 people from the city of Stonecrest. A special land use permit shall be issued to Tamika Turner, operator, for the operation of personal care home and shall not be transferable.
Thank you. Council, having heard this presentation for this rezoning for special land use permit, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, since the applicant makes all the recommendations and requirements for this application, I make a motion that we approve the SLUP 20-005 application 2831 Hillville Cove Drive to operate a personal care home for 3 individuals.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second to approve this special land use permit. All in favor, say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4, aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. The special land use permit 20-005 is approved. Next item on the agenda is special land use permit 20-006. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you again, Mayor Pro Tem. The last case brought to you this evening is SLUP 20-006. The applicant is Ms. Judith Goldberg. Subject property is 6763 Hill Creek Cove. The applicant is requesting a special land use permit for the operation of a personal care home for that should be 6 individuals. I'm sorry, using the same slide. The current zoning is R100 residential medium lot. Future land use character area is suburban residential. Again, the policies for the suburban residential character area is protect stable neighborhoods from incompatible developments that could alter established single-family residential development patterns and density. Encourage residential development to conform with traditional neighborhoods development principles, including improved pedestrian vehicle activity. Surrounding uses are residential. The surrounding zoning is R100 residential medium lot. The applicant is located in Hill Creek Cove subdivision, which is an established single family neighborhood. Again, this is the aerial map outlined in neon blue. This again is the zoning map showing you the subject property is zone R100 along with all the other properties located in the subdivision. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant of the personal care of the property, as well as the home. The subject property and the home meets all the minimum requirements set forth by the supplemental regulations of the Stonecrest zoning ordinance. This is the floor plan submitted by the application by the applicant. I'm sorry. Give a minute. Okay. This is the elevations of the subject property. Again, this is a single family home. There will be no indication that the property will be used for a personal care home. Again, these are the elevations of the subject property. These are the standards of review which you'll be making your determination by. Again, staff has already taken the opportunity to review each criteria and provide an analysis in their staff report, which was submitted to you in your packet. Staff has reviewed and analyzed each criteria, and staff recommends approval of the application because staff believes the applicant does meet all the criteria. So staff does recommend approval of SLUP 20-006 with the following 7 conditions. The Planning Commission recommended approval as well with the 7 following conditions as well. Staff will read the conditions into the record. 1, limit the use of the personal care home only to, again, I apologize, that should be 4 persons instead of 3. Access shall be limited to the existing curb cut off Hill Creek Cove Drive. All refuse containers shall be screened from public view except during pickup. No identification sign for personal care home shall be posted on the property. Owner/operator must live on the property according to supplemental regulations cited in the Stonecrest zoning ordinance section 4.2.31 and 4.2.41. The applicant shall secure the necessary certifications by the state of Georgia and the necessary business licenses, building permits, certification of occupancy for 4 people. I apologize again, from the city of Stonecrest. Special land use permit shall be issued by Judith Goldberg, operator for the operation of the personal care home, and shall not be transferable. The applicant is here for the public hearing.
Thank you. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to open this item for public hearing.
The property is in District 1-2, please.
Councilman Clanton.
Okay, let me just find the application again.
It's SLUP 20-006.
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
Just as I pulled it up, it went off my computer screen. So I just want to read it into the record as it is.
I understand.
You guys don't mind.
I'm getting
Yeah.
some background noise like there's
I think he's watching the
somebody
Well,
else
I
speaking.
don't know where that's coming from. It's not
That's
coming from.
that's the applicant. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry, I can't locate it on my screen again, so I'm just gonna
worries.
offer a motion to open public hearing for SLUP. Mr. Turner, if you don't mind,
20-006.
20-006.
It's fine.
Thank you.
I get a second.
Second.
It's been probably moved in second to open special land use permit dash 20-006. All in favor, say aye. Starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Public hearing is now open for those in favor. Get 10 minutes to make your presentation.
Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem, I missed who made the second on that motion.
Councilman Turner, Rob Turner.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is the applicant present?
Yes.
You may start your presentation now.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah, we're sharing a screen with you guys. Thanks for having us tonight. Our objective is to open a personal care home. The name would be Nanny's. Our mission is to provide an individualized, personalized experience for loved ones. We are committed and dedicated to providing the best care by ensuring that your loved one feels comfortable and at home. We aim to be a family-owned and operated private care provider for the elderly population. Between us, I'm Tyrell and Judith is the primary owner and operator. Between us, we have more than 20 years experience in working with the growing senior population. We have a passion to provide comfort and support to the elderly and peace of mind to those who entrust us in caring for their loved ones. We are committed to managing their daily care while also allowing your loved one to still have a sense of independence and autonomy. These are some of the things that we are able to offer. I'm an RN licensed for more than 20 years, and I will be available to assist in providing the care. Assistance with all personal care and ADLs, mobility assistance, medication management, fully catered meals, companionship, laundry service, and housekeeping. I think we have presented what we wanted to do, and we can reserve the time for any rebuttal.
Thank you. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of this application?
I have not received any emails in favor of this application.
Anyone else speaking in favor of this application? Hearing from no one else, is there anyone speaking in opposition to this application? You'll have 10 minutes.
I have not received any emails in opposition of this application.
Last time, anyone else speaking in opposition to this application?
I didn't receive anything as well, Mayor Pro Tem, for any opposition of this application.
All right, back to those in favor. You want to close out, use rebuttal time? There's nothing to rebut, but it's your time. Anything else?
I don't have anything else at this time.
Then I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to offer a motion to close public hearing on SLUP 20-006 at 6763 Hill Creek Cove.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to close this public hearing. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4 is aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. The public hearing is now closed. We will entertain questions from council to the applicants and staff.
So, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
my question is to staff. First of all, let's review did this applicant meet all requirements?
Yes, sir. The applicant did. I failed to mention previously last year, council approved another personal care home in the same subdivision. I think maybe down the street from this application. Unfortunately, that applicant never got the necessary permits from the state, nor did he receive a business license from the city of Stonecrest. So therefore, after a year, was probably actually a year to the date. The applicant, no, actually not year to the date, a couple weeks ago, the special land use permit expired. So therefore, the applicant could apply for the personal care home now. So therefore, they meet all the requirements, because the issue was the distance between them and the other proposed personal care home. But since that applicant failed to obtain a business license or even a state license, they were able to proceed with their application to get approval from the city, to seek approval from the city council.
And also, just to verify, the planning commission also recommended approval?
Yes, sir. They did recommend approval with the following with the conditions. So read by staff.
Okay. And this is for the applicant. Are you guys okay with the conditions that staff have outlined?
Yes.
And also, is there a owner operator living in the household?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have just one of staff.
I do have one.
Are you?
Well, no, go ahead, because you may have the same question.
Yes. This is one for 4 residents.
Mm-hmm.
And with the 4 residents, I think when you go beyond 3, is that an additional requirement of some sprinkler system or something?
Yes, that is required by the DeKalb County Fire Department. So again, DeKalb County Fire, they are very strict about that. Before we can even issue it, I'm sorry, hang on for 1 second. There was an airplane flying overhead. I apologize. Before we could issue a business license, they have to get approval from the DeKalb County Fire Marshal when it comes to the sprinklers. We can't issue a permit without their approval. So that's a criteria set forth by the DeKalb County Fire Department. They make it very clear they will not sign off on any personal care home that has 4 or more people without the sprinklers being installed. And if they're not installed correctly, they won't sign off on anything. Many of personal care homes that the city has reviewed or approved have been hung up on that issue. So
good. That was my only question. Councilwoman Cobble.
So to piggyback off that and clarify, the application was seeking 3 to 6, and we have made the requirement to stick to 4, not 3, because I think 3 is on the paperwork, but the recommendation is 4.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. But the applicant asked for 3 to 6, and then we narrowed it down to 4.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was there a reason why we decided that 6 was too many, but 4 was the right number?
No, so 4 is usually what we typically we recommend for suburban neighborhoods. So usually it's like a family of 4 for mother, father, 2 kids, and treat it as a residential location instead of a family of 6 and so forth. So we just kind of keep it around that. We figure that would be a good number instead of having a population of 6 individuals in the household. But again, there's really no definitive answer for that. It's just what staff believe would be a good fit for the area, especially in an established single family neighborhood.
Okay. And the applicant, is, I guess, satisfied with 4 versus the range of 3 to 6?
We originally applied for 6, and it was, we really were looking at aiming for 5 because the property in itself, based on square footage, would be adequate to house 5, but the city ultimately said 4.
Okay. Just wanting to make sure that, one, because the paperwork said 3, that I was clear that it was 4 and not 3, but also to make sure that the applicant understood that as well.
Yes, we understand exactly it's 4.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, just a comment, a couple of things. Number one, my computer is going in and out. So if if you guys lose me, it's computer's fault. But at some point offline, we need to talk about the difference between the 4 and the 6 and to come up with a standard as to how we're going to proceed. If it's going to be generally a sort of a policy or rule that we stick with 4, or if it's based on the neighborhood and the size of the house. So my question to staff then would be, given the size of the house, the home, could it, provide within our policy for 6 or for 5?
I mean, it's you could. I mean, I know there was conversation about how many people should be in a bedroom. So not try to get into all that. Staff was trying not to get into the weeds of how many people should be actually in the residence, but just theoretically thinking out loud. A family of 4, thinking of kids and mother, father, and 2 kids seems to be more probably a better number than I say 3 or 6 or whatever. Staff was also just wasn't trying to make that determination. Really was trying to kind of let council kind of dictate which way they would like for it to go, because there have been previous conversations about how many residents should be in the property. So staff wasn't really trying to set a policy, but was more trying to see where city council would like for them to go and so forth, which Councilman Clinton has already stated he would like to have a conversation about that.
May I say that also that with the rewrite of our zoning codes, there might be a chance to address it there?
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect. Perfect. It definitely can be addressed there, but staff does not like to be presumptuous and start making decisions. I mean, I would like to do little small things and then see exactly if you like that idea, if not, but don't want to be set in stone about what can be moved forward without some kind of direction from the council.
Right. So we can move that into the arena of standards of approval.
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, well, whatever the council chooses, staff is more than willing, open to proceed and to take a look at it and to make it a policy moving forward.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Haven't heard the public hearing and the recommendation from staff. Staff, make your recommendation again so we can have it clear.
Again, staff and the planning commission recommend approval of the application with 7 conditions. As stated before, does the mayor pro tem want me to read those conditions again for the record?
Quickly.
I'm sorry, sir. Yes,
sir.
Okay. All right. Hang on for 1 second. To limit the use of the personal care home to only 4 individuals, access shall be limited to the existing curb cut off of Hill Creek Cove Drive. All refuse containers shall be screened from public view except during pickup. No identification sign for a personal care home shall be posted on the property. The owner/operator must live on the property according to supplemental regulations cited in Stonecrest zoning ordinance section 4.231 and 4.241. The applicant shall secure the necessary certifications by the state of Georgia and the necessary business license, building permits, and certification of occupancy for 4 people from the city of Stonecrest. The special land use permit shall be issued to Judith Goldberg, operator, for the operation of the personal care home and shall not be transferable.
Thank you very much. Haven't heard the public hearing. I haven't heard from staff and from council. Council, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to offer a motion for approval with staff's condition for SLUP 20-006 at 6763 Hill Creek Cove.
Second.
Been probably moved in second to approve this item, special land use permit -20-006. Are you ready for the question?
Ready?
All in favor, say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4, aye. District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. We're on to the next item. Madam Attorney, Mr. City Attorney. Are you there?
Yes.
We voted on these items and moved forward with the action on them. And they appear in new business for a decision. So we've already rendered a decision. So are we clear with the manner in which this was handled?
Yes, you can. I know typically Stonecrest has all the public hearings and then does all the votes separately. However, you can do it the way that you did it, which is a public hearing and followed by a vote.
Good. All right. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is old business, which was moved to another spot on the agenda, and it has been cleared. New business, we took care of that. Item A, B, C, and D has already, the decision has been rendered. Item E was moved to another part of the agenda, and that has been cleared and acted upon. Madam City Clerk.
The next item on the agenda is executive session if needed. And after that, we just have our comments.
Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, sir.
You know of any reason for executive session?
No, sir. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, there was a hearing in the Metro Green matter today. I plan to provide a written update to the council, which I think will adequately address that issue. So I don't think there's a need for an executive session.
Thank you. Council, you know of any reason for executive session?
That's what I was going to ask for, but we can wait for the written brief and then see if we have some additional questions afterwards.
Hearing no other executive session, we'll go on to city manager's comments. Since we have no city manager, we will go to the deputy city manager. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem. Only comments for today is a good meeting. Looks like we're out of here at a decent hour, considering all the business that was conducted. Just hoping everyone has a great day and great week. Make sure that you are making your plans to exercise your right to vote, especially at our location that we have right here in the city of Stonecrest, which over the past, since we opened it up, we've had over 13,000 ballots have been cast at our new City Hall location. So kudos to the group for pulling that all together, and make sure you exercise your right to vote there. And if you decide to vote on election day, if you're voting out of the Stonecrest Library precinct, that precinct is being moved to the Sears building at the mall, where we'll be hosting the voting on election day there.
Great, thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney, did you leave anything off?
No, sir, that pretty much covers me.
Thank you, sir. District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I would just like to piggyback off what Deputy City Director mentioned, in that plan to vote. In my opinion, you should vote this week, vote early. Stonecrest Sam's building is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and it's going to be open on Saturday and Sunday for those to come out who want to come out and vote as well. Also, at the same location, you can plan to get your COVID testing at the same building, and as well as in the near future, you can plan to get your flu shots at the same building. So, kudos to staff, to Stonecrest Cares program, city council members for, pulling together to make certain things are getting done in Stonecrest on behalf of the people that we all represent. Looking forward to a great week, you guys. That's it.
Thank you. District 2.
Well, continuing with the dialogue of the voting, we have an opportunity to change the landscape and the power and the authority that dwells in the on the national level by the power that we have by our vote. But not only that, but also in our state. So continue to vote, but even more so while you vote, continue to take care of yourself, continue to wear your mask, continue to do social distancing, and continue to wash your hands. Take care, because we want you around to enjoy, hopefully, the change of command by January 1.
District 3.
I'm going to stay on the same bandwagon here and just say that I heard something interesting a few weeks ago, well, maybe a little longer than that now. But it was said that although Election Day may be November 3rd, that is actually the last day to vote. So don't wait until the last day to cast your ballot. Cast your ballot before then. And I thought that was actually extremely, for lack of better words, powerful way to shift your thought process about that. So although I know there are some who kind of, really like to vote on election day, I think we're in times now where we have to really consider, all of our options and thinking of it in a way that election day is the last day to vote. Kind of almost shifts a little bit how you plan for that experience. So I'll just say that and say that let's make sure that we take care of business and let our voices be heard. So I appreciate everyone. Thanks for a great meeting, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Thank you. District 5. District 5, are you there? I think we may have lost her temporarily, so while she's getting back to us, I hope she's
back. I'm back. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
y'all see me? I'm on my phone. I'm having some real technology issues tonight. But at any rate, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Okay, super. Let's vote in October, not November. If we can finish our voting at the end of this week, that will be excellent, because we want to just sit back and watch what's going to happen on November the 3rd. So I'm encouraging District 5 to please go ahead and get out to vote early. It's a great thing that we have here in Stonecrest. You really are able to get in and get out. I'm encouraging all of District 5 to apply for the COVID relief if you need to do so. Please don't be hesitant if you can benefit from what we have to support our citizens. Feel free to reach out to me if you need me. If you have not sent me your email address, please, I am begging you to do so if you want to hear from me on a continuous basis. So that is tgrimes@stonecrestga.gov, or you can text me. My phone number is 470-456-0066. And remember, I'm always working with you in mind, even when it doesn't look like it. Trust me, you are at the heart of everything I do. I appreciate you and want you to be safe in COVID. That's it for me.
Thank you very much. Let me just say from, not just from District 4, but from the city of Stonecrest, the effort to count everyone in Stonecrest, the 2020 census, was a tremendous effort. Our number came in at about 57% for self-counting. Don't let that number bother you. 57% were people who volunteered to count themselves. There were numbers that were collected from the enumerators. So once we add the numbers that were collected from the enumerators, or by the enumerators, with the ones that from the self-count, our number is going to be greater than 57%. I'm not sure it's exactly what it's going to be, and I don't want to put anything out until we get the true numbers. It's not what it should have been, but we worked the best we could under the conditions. Our task was not to just pick the low-hanging fruit, but we were to go after the hard-to-count citizen. We were to look in the bars and the nightclubs and hanging out at the lottery shops and the barber shops, wherever we could find people in those uncommon places who just traditionally do not participate in voting, the census, and anything related to the authorities. They have a mistrust from the government. I can't understand why, but that has been was part of our problem in terms of collecting all of the census data that we had hoped to collect. But again, I think all things considered, we did okay. And someone asked, how are we going to do it? I mean, what should we have done, or what are we going to do for 2030? And my reply is that you start on 2030 now. You start changing the culture about voting, the culture about the census, the culture about civic engagement, and you start with our young people. And the thing I try to get across to a 25-year-old is that you do it now, because 10 years from now, you'll be 35, and you're going to need benefits for your community that you're going to wish you had gotten 10 years ago. And that could apply to any age, really. But that is the way we're going to have to approach changing the culture in our community. And I mean the Stonecrest community. We got to become more civic minded and more engaged in the political and the social movement, and do what's best for not just now, but for our future. So again, I say vote and get ready for your 2030 census, and we'll get you the numbers as soon as we get them. Oh, by the way, there was some serious competition amongst some of the subdivisions in terms of collecting census information. And we are going to announce a winner once this election is over and we get a chance to have a celebration, because a lot of people devoted a lot of time and energy. I don't want to start calling names yet, but we're going to get a list of all those who participated as volunteers, who worked as hard as they did to help us get those numbers up. And there's going to be a big celebration, probably at the Sam's, at our future City Hall building. That's right, Mr. Joyner. So just to announce that that's going to happen. And you had one more comment, sir?
Yes, I did. Just wanted to clarify that early voting was the previous 2 weekends. So that would have been, so actually early voting ends this coming Friday, October 30th. There will not be early voting over the weekend. So make your plan to make sure you vote by this coming Friday, okay?
First day lines were extremely long, but now I understand the lines are very manageable, and 10, 20 minutes, you're in and out?
Yep.
Mighty fine. Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
The motion is second that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor? District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
3.
Aye.
4 is aye. 5.
Aye.
Good night, everybody. And it's 9:57 p.m.
Yes.